Let's just briefly talk about that because I certainly get a lot of inquiries from folks who are either underemployed, working part-time. Their main role was to raise the children. They've been home many years. They haven't really developed a career. Because their primary focus are the children. And they're scared to death. And what does that look like am I just going to be able to live on child support? The answer is no. So in the state of Rhode Island, it's different obviously in every state, but can you talk a little bit about the rehabilitative nature of spousal support in the state of Rhode Island very quickly?
Yes, Rhode Island is dramatically different than Massachusetts. Rhode Island is different than many other states when it comes to spousal support. But spousal support, otherwise known as alimony, is the court's determination, or between the parties in mediation, their own, what amount of money, if any, is paid by one spouse to the other to rehabilitate them back into the workforce. Many times people have been not working because they've been raising children. Their job became being the primary caregiver of the child while one spouse went to work. Once again, a negotiation that happens in many cases that people tend to forget that negotiation when it comes time to get divorced. But should party A be paying party B some amount of money to rehabilitate them back to work, meaning returning to training or education, to a job that they used to have that they've lost their skill set for, or to obtain a skill set for a job that they've always wanted to do but didn't do it because they either gave it up in the marriage or raising children took them away from that. So the court will look at that. They look to the length of the marriage, the conduct of the parties, the employability. There's various other factors that we'll get to in other sessions. But there's always an analysis. That's a factual analysis that yields to a financial result that you work with. But at the end of the day, everybody's going to need some amount of money, whether it's through earnings or the nature and extent of what they've had through inheritances or gifts, or working. Yep. How am I going to pay my bills in my new lifestyle? And that's important to both sides.
It is.
Because when you're living together and you have one pot of money for the whole household, and that's even difficult in this day and age. I'm sure it's been difficult in every day and age. But now you have two separate households. How will we make this work?